Do you play Fortnite on controller? Well, I went on a mission to find the absolute best settings and sensitivity for controller. I tested multiple pro player settings across multiple different scenarios and adjusted them to get the most amount of aim assist without hindering your movement or ability to keep up with mouse and keyboard players. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. To begin with, I do currently not play builds. I just play zero build, but I do believe these settings will be beneficial for everybody. I'm going to go ahead and go to the top, click on your name, go to settings. For your video settings, I do play full screen. Make sure you do turn off your VSync. Scroll down. I have performance mode on. Make sure you have your frames capped at whatever hertz your monitor is. I'm going to scroll down. I don't use a colorblind strength. Continue scrolling down here. I have everything on low except view distance. I have it on far so I can see some guns on the ground a little easier. Go over here to audio. I do have a dual PC setup, so some of these settings might not be right for you. I do recommend putting your sound quality to high. Go over here to game settings. I do have my auto door open off. Continue scrolling down here. I have my NVIDIA highlights turned off, peripheral lighting off. Here to FOV, I do have these max so I can see a little bit more around the map. Continue scrolling down. I have my replays turned off just for a little bit more FPS. You go to energy saving, you can turn these off as well. Now we go to game UI. Continue here, scroll down. Damage number scales, I set this to 90% so the numbers are a little smaller so they don't get in your way when aiming. HUD scale, 85%. Everything else is pretty much default. Alright, now we have the most important, the controller settings. I do use controller auto run on. For your slide hold time, I recommend 0.09. This is very solid and I haven't got any dead slides on this. Continue scrolling down here. For your sensitivity, we are going to be using advanced options on, but for your regular sensitivity, I recommend making sure these are the same number. For some reason, it might throw it off a bit, even if you are using advanced options. So I just recommend having these set to the same number, such as I do have here. Alright, now we get into our advanced options, and for these to show, make sure you do have this turned on. For your look speeds, we're going to set these both to 40. Anything under is going to hinder your ability to keep up with certain movements and players in certain situations. Anything above is going to be a little hard to micro adjust for headshots and tracking and some things of the sort. I felt like 40 is really good. Now we're going to scroll down here and put it to 0. Everything must be set to 0. This is most important. Go to your ADS look speed. I did a lot of testing with this speed right here. 13% is very good. Anything above, it's a little too fast and then you lose a little bit of aim assist at some spots. And at range, it's a little too hard to track for very far ranges. And if you do anything under 12, it's hard to track certain movements and grapples and players that are doing certain movements, and it really hinders your ability to track the way you should be able to. So we continue scrolling down here. Everything's set to 0. Then you get the scope speed multiplier. Make sure that's set to 1 times. Look dampening 0. Look input curve. I do use exponential and recommend it for right now. The aim assist is pretty good on exponential. It does feel pretty solid. Aim assist strength 100. Scroll down here, and now for the left stick, right stick dead zone, this does get a little personal to your controller. I like to set it as low as you possibly can handle, and then if you get stick drift, and then just raise it 1 or 2 a bit. It's like, for instance, my left stick, I do get a little bit of stick drift at 5, so I raise it to 6 and I don't get any. Now we scroll down here, and that's it for them. Now let's get to the controller binds. I do use a PS4 controller. I have 2 buttons on the back. My back left button is jump, and my back right button is crouch. Everything else is pretty default, except I do shoot with L1, R1. It's just been what I learned from competitive Call of Duty, switching over. And the response time on the buttons were just faster than the triggers without, trigger stoppers. Now we continue to scroll down here. Everything else is pretty much default other than that. For my controller binds are strictly 0 build. If you guys did make it this far in the video, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to, leave a comment and let me know on things I could improve on or things you would like to see. If you did enjoy this video or if they did help you improve, please make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.